Hi, my name is Simone and I'm the Principal and Director here at Moneybags Property Group. Congratulations on being approved for your new rental property. I just want to go through a few things on our tenancy commencement checklist with you. The point of this video is that you can watch it in your own time prior to collecting your keys from our office. So the first thing that we go through with you is obviously your lease agreement. You've been sent your lease agreement and your bond form, and you've itemised who is on the bond and what amounts apply to each tenant, so thank you for that. You will notice that we use DocuSign for all paperwork, so keep an eye on your emails. That's how we will correspond with you throughout your tenancy. Once your bond is acknowledged by the RTA, once we transfer those funds across, you will receive an acknowledgement, as will we, and we'll file note that on your file. Inspections and maintenance going forward. So for inspections arranged by us, you'll receive a Form 9, an entry notice. If it is for maintenance, there'll be 24 hours notice. If it is for routine inspections, at this stage it is 1 week's notice, minimum required. If there is maintenance that you have requested, then we will advise the tradespeople of your details, and sometimes they will call you directly to arrange access. This way it's a lot easier for them to arrange, because one day or time might suit you versus another. You can arrange that directly with the tradesperson, but if there are any issues, please call our office line. For routine inspections, we do require the properties to be in a clean and tidy state, as do most property managers, and we will be checking over the entire property as per legislation. And as you may be aware, we do take photos of the property whilst on site. So we take wide shots of each room or each area. If there are any maintenance issues, we try and get a close-up of that, or a video is much easier for tradespeople and owners to see. And once a year, one of your routine inspections will be a video inspection, because again, it's a lot clearer, and landlords are really just looking for wear and tear and what they may need to do to renovate their property going forward. Smoke alarms. Your property will have been checked by a smoke alarm technician, either just prior to your tenancy or in the very early stages. You'll get a call off one of our technicians, and they'll arrange again a time directly with you to attend to check that your smoke alarms are compliant. Rent and bond. All rental payments are to be received in advance. So on your lease agreement, it'll say the day that your rent is due. If you picked up the keys on a Friday and that's when your tenancy started, then your rent will be due on the Thursday, always the day prior, and that makes sure that you're not in arrears. We do appreciate you paying your rent in fortnightly lots. They'll be receipted usually the day after your rent is received in the trust account, and you'll always get those receipts via email. For any queries, you can access your rental ledger online at any time via our property tree portal. If you don't have access to that, just ring the office and request access for that. Rent arrears. So you will notice that day 3, day 5 and day 7, there'll be an automatic email for rent arrears. Hopefully we don't get to that point. If you do get a rent arrears email on a day 3, so initial, and it has been a long weekend, or there's been a public holiday, or it's Christmas, and you know that you've paid rent during that period, just ignore it. It will say in the email, this is automated. If you do get a day 5 or a day 7, then you may need to look at your ledger and check if you've missed a payment. Regarding paying rent as well, in your lease agreement, it will tell you the reference to use for your rent. So some tenants are just putting the name or the word rent. We won't know where to receipt that. You need to put the number of the street and the street name. On your ledger, there'll be a column that says rent paid to effective date. It's the only date you really need to take note of. That's the effective paid to date that your rent is paid up till midnight on that date. Any other date, just ignore. Really need to focus on the effective paid to date and make sure that you're paid in advance. Keys, you will have received a full key sheet to sign when you pick up your keys. That looks a little like this. And we hold that on file. So the reason you sign for those is obviously acknowledge that you've received them, and when you return them back, unless there's been a locksmith change, then you need to return the same amount of keys and remotes. If you do unfortunately lock yourself out of the property, you are able to call a locksmith at your expense. The locksmith will obviously get you back into the property and reissue you keys. and you will need to get the same amount of key sets issued. So if there's 2 adults, that's 1 set each and plus 1 set for the agent, and you need to let us know ASAP that you've had a change of keys. If your property has a pool, we will hold a pool safety certificate on file at the office, and you will have monthly pool servicing. Your landlord will pay for the servicing, and you will pay for any pool consumables used. That is standard practice, and the pool tech will invoice you directly for the consumables, and they'll invoice us directly for the pool servicing. Vacating, so if you do decide you don't wish to renew your lease when it comes end of lease, then you need to advise us, and we will send you a Form 13 to put down your intended leave date and to sign. If you do decide you need to break lease for whatever reason, you need to let our office know, and there will be fees applicable with that. The break lease fee, which is 1 week's rent plus GST, and the rental ad fee, which is charged at $1 for dollar for whatever REA charges. That's realestate.com. If you do break lease, there is a specific email we will send you. Every tenant is advised exactly the same thing. We'll advertise your property ASAP and try and source a tenant as soon as practically possible as well for you. Our communication method of choice is email. So you will have access to our property management email, which is PM for property management at moneybagsproperty.com.au. Any maintenance, queries, questions, always email them through, and that way there's a record for you as well in writing. The property manager mobile is really only for their on-road use. So if they're running late for a routine inspection, if there's an emergency with a tradie or they need to call you whilst on the road, they will use their issued phone. However, that phone is for emergencies only. We highly recommend you stick to email and writing because there is a trail there for you. And one last thing noted on your tenancy commencement checklist is personal contents. So a reminder that the landlord will hold building contents and they'll hold landlord insurance to protect the asset. If you want to have insurance, which is highly recommended, for your personal belongings, including your fridge, washing machine, including your fridge, washing machine, dryer, any personal contents in the home excluding vehicles, you need to have personal contents insurance. So if there is a flood or a fire, God forbid, then you're covered for your own contents in the property. Went through the key sheet. Rent arrears. Again, I explained that before. If you do get into arrears and your arrears hits day 8, something has happened, you need to be in contact with us. If you're not in contact with us and you haven't paid your arrears, you will be breached a Form 11. And then if you still don't pay your arrears, there'll be a notice to leave, and going forward, there'll be a QCAT order. In over 10 years in property management, we've only ever had 3 QCATs. So we really take pride in obviously selecting good quality tenants such as yourself. And in that 10 years, some of our tenants have stayed for 7 years in one property. And we really do hope that you're a long-term tenant with us, whether it's this property or any one of our other properties, or you move on to buy your very own property. If there's any questions, always call the office as well to discuss on 3139 0464. And thank you for renting through Moneybags Property Group.